It's virtual, salary, W-2, comes with amazing benefits and incredible employee culture. Are you ready to join one of Fortune 100's best places to work? In this episode, we're chatting with our employment partner, Intuit. Tune in to learn about their 3 hottest career opportunities that complement your military lifestyle.
Welcome to the VirtForce podcast. Our show helps active duty military spouses land virtual careers. Each week, we'll be uncovering the secrets of virtual work to help get you #hired. If you want income sustainable from anywhere in the world, this is the show for you. We are bringing you everything from juicy job opportunities to advice on how to glow up for a virtual interview. And now, let's meet our host. She's the change maker responsible for getting over 700 military spouses #hired and making a $15 million impact in the military community. VirtForce founder, professional speaker, remote staff augmentation specialist, visionary. Here's our host, Kimber Hill.
VirtForce family, I'm so excited to bring Intuit again to you in 2020. This company is totally dedicated to their military initiatives. They have ingrained it into the fabric of their culture, and they took the time to have this long conversation with us about their 3 hottest job opportunities and why they apply to military spouses and service members. I cannot wait for you to hear this full episode. We recorded this live in front of a live audience on Tuesday Night Live, October 20th. These opportunities are still open. They are still hot job opportunities. It is time for you to act and share them with your friends. Without further ado, let's dive in and meet with our 3 guests from Intuit. Hello, VirtForce. Happy Tuesday Night Live. It's your host and community leader, Kimber Hill. We've got an incredible show planned for you tonight. As you can see, I am not alone. We have 3 incredible guests. So one of our favorite employment partners is Intuit. They are the proud parent of TurboTax and QuickBooks. So if you are a TurboTax or QuickBooks customer, or you've ever done the QuickBooks certification, these are some of the team members who keep that ship sailing. So we're excited to have them. We're meeting 3 Intuit leaders tonight, and I'm going to introduce all of them in just a moment. And they are going to talk to us about MAVI, which is the Military and Veteran Initiative at Intuit. And we're going to chat about 2 incredible job opportunities at Intuit that are really perfect for the VirtForce community. So if you're looking for remote work, this is something you need to be tuned into. So let me go ahead and introduce our speakers briefly, and then we will get into the meat of our conversation. So first, we have Karen Brosh. She is the head of Military and Veteran Initiative at Intuit, MAVI. She's also a former U.S. Navy pilot, which is really cool. Karen, you want to say hi?
Hi, and just a big thank you for interviewing Intuit today for this. Very excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. Next, we have our returning guest. You may remember her from last year. Her name is Karina Deckard. She has 7 seasons of experience leading full hiring efforts for TurboTax Live. So Karina, please tell everybody hello.
Hello. Thank you for having me again. I'm looking forward to this evening.
Yeah, we're so excited you're back. It's nice to see you again.
Thank you.
And we have a new guest this year, Blair Dribbin. He comes from an extensive military family, and he's very excited to be supporting VirtForce and the military initiatives that we work on here. He has been supporting Intuit for about 6 years, and he focuses on hiring for QuickBooks. Blair, you want to say hi to the VirtForce community?
Hey, VirtForce community. Really glad to be here and looking forward to the conversation this evening.
Awesome. So the way that we are going to do this tonight is we're going to talk to everyone individually about, what it is that they bring to the table and what it is that they do for Intuit. So with that being said, I am going to start off with Miss Karen. Before we get into our conversation, VirtForce, I have a couple of PSAs for you all. So number one, we're going to hold all of our questions until the end. If you have questions, you can still put them in the comments real time. We have a VirtForce team member watching the comments right now, and she's going to be collecting all of the questions. And when we get to the very end of our live stream, we're going to bring everybody back on screen and answer all of the questions at one time. The second PSA for you is that if you want to share your identity, there is a link up above my head in the description of this video, and it just has a little hand next to it. So if you will click the link next to the little hand, it will allow us to see who you are when you're commenting, so we can address you by name. Otherwise, you're just going to come through as anonymous, which is also fine if you prefer that. The two positions, this is the final PSA, the two positions we're talking about tonight, the non-credentialed tax associate position and the QuickBooks Live bookkeeper position, we have links for you to go apply and get your interview scheduled in the description above my head. They're bit.ly links. We shortened them to just make them as small as we could. And so when you're ready and you want to go apply for those positions, you can click the links right above my noggin. All right. So that being said, let's dive in. I have so much to learn from Karen, and I'm excited to share her story with you. Karen, welcome to our live stream tonight. Tell us how you made the transition from U.S. Navy pilot to leading MAVI at Intuit. I'd love to learn more about that.
Absolutely. So today, we'll just work it backwards. I am a principal technical program manager with Intuit. So MAVI is part of my day job, and it was a long journey to get here. Big passion project, similar to what you do at VirtForce. I really wanted to help veterans with their transition because I personally really struggled with the transition. I didn't realize what it was going to take to get into the commercial world after I had been in the military. And so working backwards, it was getting to where I am right now today took years. And so part of my hope is that I can help others have it not take quite so long as they transition.
No, that's a really great point because transition can take a while. And we try to prepare the VirtForce community to understand that when you're looking for remote work, especially,
Right.
settle down, buckle in because it's going to take some skills. It's going to take time. But I love that you're working on making it quicker and easier like it should be.
It was a lot of you just don't know what you don't know. You're in the military a long time, so I'll go back to where it started. I'm a retired Navy commander. I flew helicopters for the Navy for 10 years active duty, and then I had 10 years in the reserve before I retired. During the reserve period, I actually worked in the commercial field. And even then it was kind of a tough transition, but I had done my initial Navy Sea tours aboard the USS Nimitz, which is a large aircraft carrier for those who aren't familiar. Did a lot of overseas tours and then was very fortunate to get to fly with the Marines in a different aircraft for 3.5 years as a flight instructor. And during that time period, I started to look at, hey, it's time to start having a family. What would that look like? How could I transition? So I did some initial preparation in the sense I got an MBA while I was a flight instructor, and I got a job right out of the military. But the only place I could really get looked at was the government consulting type agencies because I had a clearance. It was an easy transition. We did a lot of DoD military acquisition type work, but I really wanted to move more commercial. And I had left the Navy completely, was not even in the reserves, and I mainly made it 3 months at my new day job before I realized it had been years since I had been away from military. And so I joined the reserves that same year and started doing a combination, right, between the drilling work that you do with the reserve units and working commercial. And I eventually worked my way over to Qualcomm, which is a wonderful company here in San Diego. And I was at Qualcomm for 12 years in their cybersecurity division before I came to Intuit almost 3 years ago. And again, I came to Intuit. My Qualcomm division actually had a lot of military. So I wasn't that far away, and I was still in the reserves. And I was really ready to make that big jump into something I hadn't
Hmm.
done before, commercial, and came to Intuit. And again, realized that was the farthest I'd ever been away from military and veterans, and started looking around
Wow.
and got involved with our ERG, Employee
That's
Resource
very
Group.
cool.
Sorry.
So I'd like to check with our listeners and our viewers right now if you can relate to Karen's story, or if you're coming into a period of transition. Let us know in the comments, or if you're affiliated with the Marines or the Navy, let us know in the comments. We would love to hear from you. So, all right, so you do more than one thing at Intuit. You're a technical program manager, and you're also leading MAVI as like a passion project. So, could you give me an overview of what is MAVI and what is the One Intuit military program at Intuit, and what's the
Absolutely.
impact of that program?
Oh, excellent question. So I'll start with, so MAVI is our military and veteran initiative, and you can read more about it if you go to intuit.com/military. Our page is there. Very proud of that page. We just launched a year ago, so this is a big deal for us. We're coming up on our 1 year in review, and it's the initiative that we have that's run by our business. So we have two different military groups here. I'm running both of them, but they're for different purposes. So we have our Intuit Military Network, which is all of our volunteers. It's part of an employee resource group. We have a mission to educate, recruit, and mentor. So it's really focused on our community within Intuit, part of our We Care Give Back initiatives, volunteer. And our mission is provide all veterans and their families with the opportunities to translate their skill set. So to grow, develop, and thrive at Intuit through our pillars of education, recruiting, and mentoring. But so that's our, it's not but and so that's the network. We also have MAVI, which you mentioned, and it was our One Intuit military program that we started last year. We looked around the company and realized there were a lot of great military initiatives, but we couldn't tell a cohesive story. There were a lot of different things happening. And so the purpose of the Military and Veteran Initiative is to pull together that cohesive story and really focus on three
Right.
things: community, jobs, and financial empowerment.
I love that. Community, jobs, and financial empowerment. So, do you believe that you're telling more of that cohesive story now by bringing these programs together?
Yeah, we're getting there. It's of course we have very high standards for where we want to go with this, and we feel like we just got this
Hmm.
up and running. But there are business-led pillars, and that's one of the biggest differences. Is we have executive teams involved all the way up to the top that are working this into how they run the business. So it becomes more of within the fabric of the company, not just a standoff one alone. Hey, we think this military program would be good. We are across the company and all of our business units looking at how we can help veterans and military families.
Hmm.
Big emphasis on military spouses this year as well. Want to make sure that those opportunities are available and that they know about them. So VirtForce is part of that. We have all of our job opportunity initiatives that we're creating, full-time, remote, remote plus training. They're going to talk about that here in a little bit. We have grander philanthropic efforts than we had before. It came in at great timing. We partnered with NMFA during the COVID at the very beginning. We just had we're in San Diego, huge explosion aboard the USS Bonhomme Richard, and we were able to do some quick turnaround fundraising and philanthropy to help all of the sailors and their families who were impacted. We have a great new financial empowerment initiative. We partner with Bunker Labs. We're going to help veterans and military families become entrepreneurs, start small business, get educated, get trained, learn all of those things that they don't know. TurboTax in our product itself. Last year was the first year we had the product free for all enlisted ranks for active duty and reserve and National Guard. So those are some of the things that we're
Wow.
doing.
So TurboTax is free for all enlisted ranks. I'm going to say that again
Hmm.
for everyone listening. That's a big
Yeah,
deal.
if you didn't know.
I love that you partner with Bunker Labs. Bunker Labs does great work in the transitioning and service
Hmm.
member community. There's a huge chapter in Tampa, which is close to me, and they have
Oh,
really
really?
impacted my life personally and impacted VirtForce as well. So, yeah, that's a great partnership to be involved in. So you were talking about MAVI's ERG community network and activities. How does that play out
Hmm.
in your day to day at Intuit? Is it just something that you're keeping on the forefront of every project, or what's the strategy to bringing that into fruition?
Great question again. So the strategy is we talk about we want it in the DNA of the company or woven in the fabric, where it's always on the forefront. We have several, I want to say more present day current events, right? All of the diversity and inclusion initiatives, it's included there. The
Hmm.
military naturally is one of the most diverse groups you're going to find, whether it's race, religion, nationality. You don't have to be a United States citizen to serve in our military, and so it's greatly diverse. And so we do a lot of work there. So from a day to day, you'll see anywhere between the volunteer groups, especially around certain times of year, we plan out functions across the calendar. We partner with other groups, employee resource groups, for all kinds of things. So we do leadership seminars where last year we had a team of special forces come in along with the Navy SEALs, and they came in and did a leadership seminar. It was fantastic. It was for the whole company. Anybody could come. It was standing room only. Um, they told some pretty great stories, as you can imagine. We had a great team
Yeah.
of female veteran leaders in our community come in. They were graduates. We partner with the Rady School of Business at UCSD, and they were their veteran graduates. And they came in and told some stories that would just um, transition stories specifically that were just quite frankly a little heartbreaking when you hear about what you could do in the military and
Mm.
how hard it was to transition and the level of responsibility and what people think you can do or what people think they know about the military. So they told some pretty amazing stories too. So always in the
I like,
community, we're always
yeah.
doing something.
Yeah, it sounds like you have a lot of activities and kind of networking set up so that you can continue to keep it woven within the community, within the company culture, which is a difficult thing to do. And I know it can be difficult with a large organization, but I love how Intuit makes a large organization feel small and feel like every voice counts. And always really enjoy working with each of you. So if we need to ask this question to Karina, we can, and we can transition to chatting with Karina. But my question for you is, how is the Military and Veteran Initiative and the One Intuit military program, how are they connected to these TurboTax Live opportunities and our QuickBooks Live opportunity that we're going to be chatting about tonight? And why is the military spouse community important?
This is great. Okay, bunch of questions. I'll back up to just so everyone knows, we started off as the One Intuit military program, and you'll see our
Hmm.
video on our website about that. And then we rebranded as Military and Veteran Initiative earlier this year. So we use both of those interchangeably. How we are tied into these amazing opportunities is because one of our pillars, so one of our business led pillars in the MAVI group is our talent acquisition team. And they have been amazing. And they have done things like what we're doing
Hmm.
today, for one, is reaching
Yeah.
out and making sure people are aware of the opportunities. But also, we're partnering with a company called Psych Armor to also help train our hiring managers and our recruiters on how to read a military resume, how to help the veterans transition. And we have an ask out to all of our hiring managers is to interview a veteran and military spouses. And that's a big deal right now because
Yeah.
we're a Silicon Valley fintech company, and
Yep.
you're used to seeing a certain thing on a resume. So when you see military come through, it's very challenging to be able to translate that if you don't have that experience. And so our talent acquisition team among these opportunities are also prepping our company and getting us better prepared to do those interviews.
Yeah, can we get some kudos going from our listeners and our viewers in the chat for Intuit for taking into consideration what it actually means to understand and interpret a military resume, especially as a military spouse who knows, that resume gaps can be, the bane of your existence from PCSing from duty station to duty station. And I just want to say thank you. And I hope that all of our listeners and viewers will show you some love on that. That's huge. Angie says, woohoo. Thanks, Angie.
We have one more thing in that space. We have a program called Intuit Again. It doesn't mean that you worked at Intuit. But Intuit Again is for all of our families out there, our spouses who have stopped working in the workforce to raise their family, and they want to come back to the workforce. And we have a whole program here outside of the two that we're talking about today that do that as well for Intuit. So a lot of opportunities.
That's amazing. Yeah. That is truly amazing. And I would love to learn more about Intuit Again. We should link that in the comments later. If you could maybe email that over to me after our conversation.
Sure.
With that, I would love to bring on Karina, but I want to give you a moment to let me know if there's anything else that we didn't discuss or that I didn't ask you about that you want to share before I bring on Karina and talk about that TTL opportunity.
I could talk all day about this. I think we should bring on Karina because these opportunities are the really important part. And then I can answer questions at the end if there's any questions.
Okay, great. Let's bring her up. And hi, Karina. Welcome back.
Hello. Thank you.
All right, Karen,
Awesome.
Thank you so much for chatting with us. I'll put you down in the queue and we'll bring you back for questions at the end. Karina,
Hello.
we're so excited to have you back. You were our first
Thank
ever
you.
Intuit guest, and you were telling me a really funny story earlier about how your daughter was sliding you notes under the door last year, which I think we can all,
Yes.
so many of us can relate to here. So
Absolutely.
what did you think
That's
about
the benefits of working from home.
Yeah, I know. So what did you think about what Karen was sharing with us about integrating, that the military program with the TurboTax Live opportunity that you have?
I'll tell
that you
you,
guys have
first
this
of all,
year?
it makes me proud to be of part of a company that really values people, veterans, military spouses. So it's and here all of it on our end, opportunity for folks to be able to have the option to work remotely while being a traveling spouse. I think that's just amazing.
Yeah. Being able to work remotely while being, living that transient lifestyle, I think you hit the nail on the head right now.
Yes.
It's so important.
This is Brittany and Leslie from the MilSpouse Coffee House podcast. You're listening to the VirtForce podcast. This podcast helps you on your career journey, no matter where you are.
So after you have taken that journey and you are tired and you need a laugh, come on over to MilSpouse Coffee House where we're serving up laughs. After you've listened to VirtForce podcast, where they can help you, you can bring your resume to us and we'll give you unprofessional advice.
Find the MilSpouse Coffee House podcast on your favorite podcast playing platform. You can also visit our website at milspousecoffeehouse.com. And now back to Kimber and the VirtForce team.
Need help with your resume? VirtForce has your back. Listen to our Resume Bootcamp series, which covers episodes 47 through 60 of this show. Play them in chronological order to build a winning resume tailored to the virtual job market. Resume Bootcamp also offers a subscription-based online course and private community. Learn how you can opt in to our live trainings and resume critiques at bit.ly/VF-BC. So let's go ahead and dive into the TTL opportunity. Could you explain to the VirtForce community what is TTL?
Yes, so it's TurboTax Live. I guess that's just another fancy name for TurboTax, but it is America's #1 tax preparation provider. And all of this is the work that we do. It's literally remote. So we have anywhere from tax associates, which are non-credentials, and tax experts, which are also credentialed folks. They all assist our customers remotely from the comfort of their own home. And we provide training, we provide equipment, and the way that it works in the sense of taking the cost from our customers, it's a combination of video and phone. So the laptop that each person or each agent is provided has Amazon Connect. So that's how the calls are routed in. Now, for tax associates, I will tell you that it's a non-credential position, meaning that all you really need is your PTIN, which is your personal tax identification number. What we ask is that we'll provide training on how to use our systems, our products, but we do ask for at least a minimum of 3 seasons of paid tax preparation experience and or having to do 30 returns per tax season. Our tax expert role, it does require an active credential such as a CPA, EA, or enrolled agent, or if you're a JD, you must be a practicing attorney, along with having your personal tax application number. For that, I'll tell you for both roles, okay? So both of them, they're still helping out our customers essentially the same way. However, the credentialed tax expert will be the one to take it up a notch in the sense of they'll have the opportunity to sign off on customers' tax returns because they have their credentials. Whereas the tax associates, you're still answering all kinds of tax questions. And we don't expect everyone to know all of these tax questions up front. So you'll have an opportunity to do research when you're with your customer, whether it's using the IRS website or Google. Our managers do provide a wealth of resources during training so that you can successfully help out our customers. And trust me, I mean, we don't want anyone to try to say, oh, I don't know that answer. Oh, I do know that answer. So you will do the research. You know, we're a tech company and we've got the resources available at your fingertips. So we'll provide the training, how to, what resources to utilize, and we can't train everyone on the type of questions that come through because we get questions from A to Z from all 50 states.
Right.
So
right.
That's
okay,
the job.
so
That's both jobs in a nutshell. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, I don't want to oversimplify, but the way that
Yeah.
I perceive these two opportunities is you have one position that's non-credentialed and you have one position that is credentialed.
Correct.
They're both supporting TurboTax Live, and you provide training for both, you provide equipment for both, and you have an incredible resource as far as having managers and other staff members who are there to help because you guys are a tech company and everything is right there at your fingertips.
Absolutely.
And for the non-credentialed position, you need about 3 seasons of tax experience with about 30 tax returns per season. And for the
Correct.
credentialed position, you need either your enrolled agent, is it I want to call it a certification?
It's just an EA license.
EA license, okay. That's what I was getting hung up on. Your CPA, or you need to be a practicing attorney.
Correct.
Right. So 2 incredible opportunities with TurboTax Live. Are they both customer-facing, phone and video?
Yes, both of them are. Correct.
Okay. And one of our commenters, I know we're holding questions until the end, but one of our Facebook users here, it looks like they actually landed one of these roles and said, I was really nervous to go on live video, but it wasn't bad, actually. Yeah.
And I'll tell you, honestly, to that point, a lot of the people are concerned about video, but I'm going to tell you this. It's really just the size of a quarter. It's really tiny. So
yeah.
It's not, and I'll tell you this, the customer gets to decide if they turn the video on or off. Most customers are the ones nervous, not the agents. So it's usually the other way around.
Yeah, I'll say I've used it as a customer before. I was a customer and opted in to the level where I could have a CPA review, and I had a video call with a CPA. And you're right, he was just very tiny in the top of my screen. He couldn't see me, but I could see him, and he was just talking to me through my tax return, and I loved it. It was such a great experience.
Well, good. See, there you go.
Yeah. So what are the key benefits you get from joining the network at Intuit?
So besides working from home, you build your own schedule based around the business, the operating hours of operation. So during the tax season, we do operate 7 days a week between 5 a.m. and 9 p.m. Pacific. So you're the one creating your work schedule through a portal. You get to decide what day you want to have off on, you're in control of that. It's kind of like the Uber model. One thing we do ask is just for a minimum commitment of 20 hours per week. And then there, I mean, if you want to sign up for more, it's there. We do offer for the option for 401k, and then also a free copy of TurboTax and product discounts for any other products besides TurboTax with Intuit. And
Love that.
what I will mention though, it's a seasonal position, so it's strictly just for the tax season. So we don't offer medical benefits, but we have in lieu of that, other benefits that we can offer for the seasonal role.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So while we're on the subject of benefits, can we talk about that incredible certification program you're offering right now?
Absolutely. So for our tax associates, anyone that does get hired, they will get invited to participate in a program that we call ProDev. It's a development program to help you obtain your enrolled agent license. Intuit pays for it, so it's at no cost to you. And the benefit is you obviously still have to pass the exams to get the enrolled agent license, and then you get connected with a specific recruiter that will walk you through next steps to be able to go from a tax associate to a tax expert position. So you still have to interview for it, but I'll tell you, the fact that Intuit is paying for you to go through this enrolled agent program, that speaks volumes. So it's a great encouragement for our tax associates that what if somebody just didn't have the time or didn't have the resources? Intuit provides it all through this ProDev program to get your EA license. So I think that's huge. It's, the fact that it's for seasonal roles that Intuit's doing this, I'm going to tell you, I think it's amazing, and a lot of people take advantage of this. Yes, there's the time commitment to study, but it's so worth it in the end.
Oh yeah, I mean it is a huge perk. The EA license is not, it's not inexpensive to get, but it's so important that you do have it. And if you want to grow in your career in finance and in tax support, especially with an organization like Intuit, this is such an incredible opportunity
Definitely
for you to jump into. Yeah. So if you have questions for Karina, we'd love for you to put them in the comments. I'm seeing some feedback coming through regarding questions about requirements. So we're going to take questions at the very end. So if you have anything specific for Karina, go ahead and put it in the comments, and one of our team members will collect it and make sure we get your questions answered. So please put your questions in the chat in the comments for us. And also the link to apply for this position, these two positions that Karina is talking about, it's in the description above my head. So just click the description button for this chat and go to the non-credentialed tax associate link and go ahead and put your information in so that you can find out if this is the right opportunity for you and speak to a recruiter at Intuit. Karina, I want to bring on Blair to chat about the QuickBooks Live position, but before I do that, is there anything else that you'd like for me to share?
No, I think just thank you for having me here again. So hopefully I can help answer any questions that anybody else may have about these roles.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm going to pull you off the screen and I will pull Blair on, and we'll bring you back on when we do our questions at the end.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thanks, Karina. Hey, Blair.
Hey, Kimber.
Hey, how's it going?
Going pretty good. Enjoying listening along here.
Yeah, we're happy that you're here with us tonight. Do you want to give us a little bit about your background and how you transitioned into supporting QuickBooks Live at Intuit?
Yeah, absolutely. And first, for including me here today, and for everybody listening, thanks so much for all the sacrifice you've made through service in our military, especially to the military spouses as well. It's truly amazing. So yeah, I've been supporting QuickBooks Live for a little over a year. Prior to that, at Intuit, supporting all contractor hiring for functional roles. And I'm really excited about the QuickBooks Live positions and its potential impact to the veteran community and/or military spouses.
Yeah, I am too. I'm particularly excited about this one because we didn't get an opportunity to get it in front of our mill spouses last year, or I think we did, but it was very brief. And I know that we have a lot of bookkeepers in this organization, and I know we have a lot of military spouses who are launching that bookkeeping career. And I know you guys are doing high volume hiring right now for it. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, just some historical context. We launched QuickBooks Live last August 2019. And
Mm-hmm.
since then, we've hired approximately 1,100 virtual remote bookkeepers for QuickBooks Live.
Mm-hmm.
So we are continuing to grow and continuing to hire classes each month, ranging from 25 up to 100 live QuickBooks Live bookkeepers per month.
And listeners, service members, transitioning service members, mill spouses, why can't that be you? Right? Why can't you pick up a remote bookkeeping career with QuickBooks Live? It's an incredible tool. Everybody's using it. The certification is amazing. So, yeah, that's my question for all of our listeners. But, Blair,
Yeah.
can you tell us a little bit about what is QuickBooks Live? Because when we think about Intuit and we think about Intuit's, I'm going to call it Intuit's children, we've got TurboTax, we've got Mint, we've got QuickBooks. QuickBooks is very different from TurboTax. So can you give us a little bit of background into what is it and how is working for QuickBooks different than working for TurboTax?
Sure. Yeah, I'd love to. So yeah, the QuickBooks Online product has been around since 2001 and really spawned out of the QuickBooks desktop offering. And it's really a bookkeeping software for small and medium-sized businesses. So those are our customers. And the QuickBooks Live's role came about because we wanted to change the way that people maintain their books or do their bookkeeping. And, we took a page out of the TurboTax Live notebook and being able to offer these expert services virtually. And so the QuickBooks Live bookkeeper roles at a high level it's an offering of live bookkeeping services to our QuickBooks Online customers who are the small and medium-sized businesses. And it really allows our customers to spend less time doing their books and more time on making their business prosper. And at the other side of it allows us to employ individuals all over the United States in a part-time remote virtual capacity. And so we think that's something special and even more important in times like these right now.
I think it's important as a business owner. We use QuickBooks, and it's been incredibly helpful for us.
Awesome.
Implementing our business model and implementing our payroll and making sure that our W-2 employees, their taxes are taken care of. It's been great.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I was going to say, as a small business owner, you probably might have experienced how to run your business, but doing the books might be challenging sometimes, right? Or doing the payroll might be challenging. And so the fact that we're able to offer these live bookkeeping services to our customers has really helped them out a lot. And something we're really proud of and looking forward to continued growth.
It is. And you want someone whose core competency is bookkeeping to be used with an organization whose core competency is bookkeeping. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs face that. You know what your core competencies are and what it is that you're good at, and that's not necessarily doing the books, like you just said. So, can you describe to us what are the key benefits that a team member would get from joining QuickBooks Live?
Yeah, absolutely. So the positions are year-round, part-time, remote, virtual roles. The positions would need to be worked Monday through Friday during the QuickBooks Online regular business hours, which is 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific. And some of the benefits there is that we offer 3 different types of schedules in terms of hours per week. So you can choose to work a 20-hour week, a 25-hour week, and a 29-hour week. And then we have coinciding schedule options below each of those offerings. So there is some flexibility, although we do have set shifts, but we found out that the shifts that we offer do tend to fit in with a lot of folks who are interested, regardless of what time zone they're in within the United States.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really awesome. And some additional benefits are it's a W-2 role, so there's an hourly pay rate. For these roles, since they're year-round, we're actually able to offer medical, dental, vision benefits. There's a 401k with a very competitive match. There is, you get your birthday as a paid day off to celebrate. You get Intuit product discounts.
That's great.
And there's also a year-end performance-based incentive bonus as well.
That's amazing. You
Yeah.
get your birthday off paid. You get a bonus. You can pick between 20 hours, 25 hours, or 29 hours. Totally remote. And there was more in there, but it just sounds like an incredible opportunity. And our comments are blowing up right now. Angie says, "Did you say W-2?"
I
That's
did.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, they do hire W-2, which is, I believe all of these positions are salaried in W-2. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, which is probably why Intuit made the list of Fortune top 100 places to work. All right, probably one of the reasons why. Again.
Yeah, one of them for sure.
All right, so what specific QuickBooks Live job is currently open? So just for everyone's reference, it's going to be in the description above my head. And what does the role entail? What is required to land that role?
Yeah. So we have 4 different levels that we hire for, and it's the same position, but it just varies on your level of bookkeeping experience, your professional experience with QuickBooks Online, and how well you perform throughout the interview process. So there would be an initial phone screen with a QuickBooks Live recruiter. If that went well, you would do a virtual review interview. And then after that, we would follow back up to extend you an offer and walk you through the onboarding and hiring process. And some of the main core competencies that we're looking for, obviously, is a bookkeeping and accounting background. So professional experience doing that. If you have a 4-year degree in accounting or CPA or CPB, that's some added pluses there for sure. Obviously, we're looking for individuals who also have professional experience using the QuickBooks Online software.
Yeah. Which is easy to acquire that experience, right?
It is, yeah, and we can also provide some helpful links and guidance for these individuals to become QuickBooks Pro Advisor certified, and that's another way that we're able to promise to our customers that they're connecting with an expert. That certification process, if you don't have it, but maybe you have QuickBooks Online experience, that process only takes about 8 hours. A lot of people split it up over a couple days, but it's something that definitely helps them along the way.
Wow. Now, did that decrease since last year? I thought it was 12 hours last year. Maybe you guys enhanced the program, or maybe I was just wrong last year.
Yeah, it could depend on how quickly you move through it, I suppose. But it should be, for new certification, should be right around 8 hours, and then you take the final exam. If you're just renewing year over year, so you have a 2019 cert and you're looking to renew for 2020, it really just addresses the year over year changes with the software offering, and that takes about 30 minutes.
So do you need to have that to land this role, or is that something you can get certified in after you're hired?
So currently it is a requirement to have the QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor certificate. However, we are still happy to phone screen and interview individuals under the premise that they know that they would have to pass and receive the certificate prior to joining. So it's something that we can work simultaneously with candidates on while they're going through the process, and we're happy to do that.
That's amazing. Okay, so what I would love to grab from you is a link to that certification. I believe we already have it, but I'm just going to double check my resources after the show tonight and make sure that we have it, so that anyone who's interested in getting the QuickBooks Online certified, am I saying it correctly? Is it QuickBooks Pro certified?
It's a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor certification.
Okay, QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor certification. You can get it in less than 8 hours. And, it's so funny that you bring this up, because we're currently producing a series called Certifications That Make You More Marketable, and we're doing an episode on this one.
Awesome.
So I'm excited that we're having this conversation now. I want to make sure that the VirtForce community has quick access to that, so you can get your certification and land this role with QuickBooks Live.
Yeah. One thing I'll add to that is it's free. It just takes your time and effort to do.
Right. So the best investment you can make in yourself, right? Time and effort. So listeners and viewers, if you have questions for Blair, let's go ahead and get those in the comments now. I would love to ensure that we get your questions about QuickBooks Live answered when we move to questions in just a few minutes. And remember, the link to apply to the QuickBooks Live opportunity is in the description above my head. It's listed as the QuickBooks Live bookkeeper position. Blair, before we move into questions, is there anything that you want to share with the VirtForce community that we haven't discussed yet?
Yeah, just one thing I'll share specifically for military spouses, which it seems like there's quite a few on listening right now. It really is a great opportunity for individuals like that, where you might live in one state for 2 or 3 years, then you get stationed at another state and you're moving around quite a bit. You can do this job from anywhere within the U.S. So it's a really great opportunity for somebody who wouldn't be able to go into an office on a regular basis, isn't located near a brick and mortar office. So that's why we're really happy to try and hire as many military spouses as we can for this type of opportunity.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you took a moment to do that and acknowledge how many mil spouses are watching and listening tonight. And you're right, it is one of those mobile friendly opportunities that you can grow with over time, which is what I love about it and why I'm so excited to bring it to VirtForce. All right, I believe we're ready to move into questions. So with that being said, I'm going to remove our on-screen graphic. So give me just a moment to pull that off so we can see everybody's awesome faces. And I'm going to bring back Karina, and I'm going to bring back Karen. And we're going to quad screen it here. Yeah, we did it.
Okay.
1 second here. All right, so listeners and viewers, we are ready to take your questions. We have a team member, Missy, who is running mission control on questions for us this evening. So Missy has posted our first question. And she says, regarding the TurboTax Live position, Maria Calderon asks, is it required to be a U.S. citizen?
Yes, unless you or if you have I don't know what you call a permit, but otherwise, because these are seasonal, yes.
Seasonal. So yes, Maria Calderon, it is required to be a U.S. citizen for this position. If you have any other questions, be sure to get those in the comments while we are here with our Intuit representatives. Our next question is from Heidi Barker. Heidi Barker asks, since these are W-2, can our community members in California apply?
Absolutely.
Yes, Heidi. So for those of you who are listening and you're not quite sure how this may apply to you, I believe, I forget the name of the law, but there is a law in California that stipulates, I believe all Californian residents must be W-2 employees. So since this is a W-2 position, if you're stationed in California, Camp Pendleton, there are so many bases there. This is a great opportunity for you because it does comply with that regulation, and you are all set to apply for that one. Missy, do we have additional questions? Let's see here. I'll scroll up. We had a lot of comments. I'll pull these on screen while we're reviewing them. All right. So we had some feedback. Let's see here. Christina Donnelly says, I graduate with my master's in accounting in 1 week. I am feeling a little discouraged since I lack the experience most employers are looking for. I'm changing careers. I have been in the education field for the last 8 years. So that's an interesting situation for her to be in. I'll bring her comment up so we can all read it. Christina, I just want to say congratulations on getting that master's in accounting. That's a big step. And potentially, Karen, you might be able to help her with that back to, what did you call the program earlier, Karen?
The Intuit Again program. And although Intuit Again, right now, it's mostly focused on engineering roles. Okay. That being said, it's not exclusive to engineering roles. And, I would definitely encourage you to look up any accounting type positions that are open, especially right now for remote opportunities. Outside of these two great ones that we've been talking about today, I would definitely encourage you to do that and take that master's degree. I think that's terrific. And don't be afraid to start entry level. That's my advice to folks. It's really hard, especially for transitioning folks, to want to start where they were or at a level that they're familiar with. But getting into the
Mhm.
workforce, just getting your foot in the door and learning those entry level skills at a different type of job really goes a long way.
I like that. I like that you mentioned don't be afraid to start at entry level. It's not a step backward, especially if you've been out of the workforce for a while or if you're changing careers. So thank you for sharing that insight with us, Karen. I think it means a lot to give everyone a perspective of what it can mean to come back to the workforce or what it can mean to career pivot. One of our users says, I have an MBA with bookkeeping experience and some hands on QuickBooks experience. I'm not sure if I would meet the criteria, but I would love more information. So we are going to send you more information. Does anyone have feedback on that? If we're talking about someone with an MBA and bookkeeping experience, where might they best fit in with these two open opportunities?
Sure. Yeah, I can address that first here. We have a lot of folks who come from a similar background who work as a QuickBooks Live bookkeeper right now, and specifically from an academic standpoint, if MBA and maybe you have your own bookkeeping firm and you're looking to add some additional supplemental income, the QuickBooks Live bookkeeping role is really a great opportunity to do that, as it takes a lot of the legwork off of your plate from a entrepreneur or somebody running your own business, where you don't have to worry about the marketing or obtaining new business. You can just use your skills and experience that you already have to help service QuickBooks Online customers, and you can continue to build upon your bookkeeping experience through this opportunity. And one thing I really love about
Mm-hmm.
these positions is that you might be located in one area in the United States, but through QuickBooks Live, you're actually able to support customers across the nation, across different industries. So it really helps you build out your bookkeeping toolkit, as well as continue to level up on your experience with the QuickBooks Online software.
I like that. Building up your bookkeeping toolkit, which is, really relevant to staying relevant, right? Thanks for sharing that, Blair. Our next question is, are there any specific requirements on internet connection?
Yes. I think for both roles, there's everyone has to do an internet speed test that you do on your own, and then you send us screenshots of it, just because we want to ensure that you do have to be hardwired and that you have a safe internet connection, because especially on the TurboTax, you're going to be the customers are going to be screen sharing their TurboTax software with you. So that means that's a lot of confidential information that's going to be on there. So we want to make sure that you've got the proper connection and you're hardwired in for security reasons.
That makes sense. Yeah. Thank you for sharing and thank you for answering that question,
No
Karina.
problem.
YV Tao asks, will the bookkeeping opportunity be available next year as well? So I'm not sure if that means after December or if that means next season. So perhaps we should answer it for both circumstances.
Sure. Yeah, without any foreseeable major economic downturn, I would anticipate we'd be hiring on a monthly basis for these positions. And we might slow down a little bit through the holiday period just for folks doing their own thing and traveling, but I'm anticipating us hiring on a regular basis every month. So moving into 2021, yes.
Thank you. All right, Julie says, I've looked at your tax requirements and it says 3 years of paid experience. I've been a VITA preparer for 5 years, but it's volunteer, so I don't have paid experience. Is there any allowance for volunteer experience?
I can help answer that. So yes and no, and whoever that is, I don't mind if she's given my contact info and we can just talk offline and I can get into more details on that.
Okay, that's great.
Can I
Julie,
just do
we
a
will
shout
put you
out
in.
to all of, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying shout out to our VITA, they're volunteers, volunteer income tax assistance folks that really help out during tax season. So all
Right.
around the country. Thanks, Julie.
Thanks, Julie. Julie, we will put you in touch with Karina so she can answer questions for you more specifically. All right, can you go over how to become part of the EA program again?
Oh, I'm sorry, the EA program. So
Yeah.
the taxes, sorry, the tax. So once you're hired in the tax associate role, you're then provided with someone from our pro development program reaches out to you via email with information on how to sign up. So you have to say, yes, you're interested, and then sign up through their, I can't remember the name of the program that they use for the EA enrollment. So they take care of the fees, meaning Intuit. All you got to do is sign up and start studying. It takes the rest. And then you have
Awesome.
to,
So you have to be hired first,
yes,
right?
correct. And then once you do obtain your enrolled agent license, it has to be that it's verified by the IRS. It's actually a valid license. So just because you pass the exam, we can't move forward yet until we have a confirmation from the IRS. We always have to make sure the IRS has confirmed it is an active, valid license. And then, someone from our team reaches out with next steps for the next role, which would be the tax expert role.
And is the bonus still in play?
Yes, $1,000 sign-on bonus.
Okay, so let me recap that for all of our listeners and viewers. If you are hired, so first you have to be hired by Intuit. Then you have to sign up for the EA program, study your buns off, pass, and then get verified by the IRS. If you do all of this before December 31st, there is a $1,000 bonus.
Correct.
Which is really nice around the holiday season, right?
Definitely.
Okay, so it's just an incredible program. If I were looking and in this industry, I would sign up in a heartbeat. Okay, there was another question here. Jenna asks, do you have any tips for tailoring your resume to these positions when applying?
Yeah, I can talk to the QuickBooks Live positions. Any accounting background experience you can highlight. So anything tied to AP, AR, bookkeeping, journal entries, month-end close, any of those items, anything related to bookkeeping at all. Obviously, if you have QuickBooks Online experience, that's one of the requirements we're looking for. But if you want to showcase your experience with other accounting software that you might have used as well, and anything really that's going to show you've successfully worked in a remote virtual role before, I think will be extremely helpful. And the last thing I'll add is that we are extremely customer focused and customer minded here at Intuit. So any way you can showcase strong customer service experience and a passion there, I think will truly help you stand out.
Thank you, Blair. Did anybody else want to throw in on tailoring your resume for these positions?
I do. So on the TurboTax side of things, it's helpful to, even if you don't have the paid tax preparation experience, showcase what tax preparation you've done and or what softwares you have used. That really, we can still, I know that we've got the minimum requirements, but we can still present it to hiring managers. We don't want to say no to everybody. So at least as you just highlight how many returns you've done, if you've done returns, it doesn't have matter what type of returns, but more so software. So even have you worked in the past with any retail tax settings like H&R Block or Jackson Hewitt? If you've worked with them, even if it was for 1 season, 2 seasons, highlight. Anything is helpful.
Okay, so you want them to explain where they worked and what kind of software experience they had.
Yes.
Thank you. That's very clear. Thanks, Karina.
No problem.
All right, I think we have 2 more questions. And again, everybody, if you have questions, now is the time to get them in the comments before we close our live stream tonight. 2 more. How long is the training period for each position? So I believe we would need to hear from Karina and Blair about the training period for each of your roles.
So for TurboTax Live, the training is 10 days, and it's a combination of self-led and live sessions. So you've got 10 days to complete it, and then your self-led means you go at your own pace. Live sessions, the managers will schedule a variety of live sessions to be able to connect as a team, since everyone's working remotely, and then being able to connect your manager. And it's paid training.
Thank you. Paid training, which is very important. Blair, do you have anything to add?
Sure, yeah. Paid training on the QuickBooks Live side, it typically lasts around 1 week. It can go a little bit longer than that. Similar to TurboTax Live, there's live virtual sessions you'll attend there's self-led, self-paced modules that you'll go through, and then there's also manager check-ins and touch points as well. And I think it's important to note too that after your training, you're not just kind of thrown to the wolves. You'll be partnered up with a buddy, and you'll have resources on your team to help bring you along and level you up appropriately so you can start delivering to the customers.
I like the buddy system a lot. I think that's important to have a mentor when you're rolling into a new position. All right, our last question is, how long after the test for the enrolled agent does the IRS verification take?
That I'm going to tell you right now, because due to unforeseen COVID-19, it really just depends by state. It's been very different this year, so it varies. Because and I say that because some testing centers have been closed and people have to wait to get availability to do testing online. So really, it's on a state by state regulations with the IRS.
Thank you. Okay, I would expect as much. 2020 has been it's been unpredictable from the beginning. It's been an interesting year. So Blair, Karina, Karen, I want to thank you all so much for joining us tonight on VirtForce's Tuesday Night Live. Is there anything else you guys would like to add or share with the VirtForce community before we close out our live stream?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And
Exactly.
it's great to be here.
Thanks to everyone. Don't give up. It's all possible.
Don't give up.
Don't give up. Lots of new adventures.
We're getting lots of thank yous in our comments. Our community seems to be very grateful that you guys took the time out of your workday and your evening to come and chat with us. So thank you so much. And thanks for bringing these opportunities to VirtForce. Again, VirtForce listeners, the links to apply for these positions are going to be in the show notes. If you're listening to this as a podcast episode, they are in the description above my head if you're watching this live or if you're watching the replay. And I will include links to the QuickBooks Pro Advisor online certification, as well as some of the programs that Karen mentioned in our show notes, and we'll edit those into the description. Thank you so much, Blair Dribbin, Karina Deckard, and Karen Brosh for joining us tonight. Happy Tuesday Night Live. We'll catch you all next week.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
All right, VirtForce, that is it for this episode. If you liked what you heard, please subscribe, rate our podcast, and leave us a review. We really love hearing from you. If you need to find the show notes, which include all of the resources we discussed in this episode, you can find those at virtforce.us. Guys, I'm serious when I say we want to hear from you. If you have an idea for an episode or a question, email us at support@virtforce.us. As a reminder, all content associated with the VirtForce podcast is the intellectual property of VirtForce LLC. All right, catch you next week.